Economists have often modeled human decision makers as completely rational. According to this model, rational people know their own preferences, gather and accurately process all relevant information, and then make rational choices that advance their own interests. However, Herbert Simon won a Nobel Prize in economics by pointing out that people are rational, but only boundedly so, in that they seldom gather all available information, they often do not accurately process the information that they do gather, nor do they necessarily know what it is that will make them happy. People are rational, but boundedly so.
With rationality, I think it's much easier with economic decisions. I mean, there's a number, and I mean, we're business students. I think we like numbers. Ethical issues, I mean, there's so much in between. It's like the decisions can't be made the same way. It's just, there isn't the basis to do that.
If the last 50 years of psychological research has proven anything, it is that the situational often dominates the dispositional. That is to say, our disposition or desire to be good people can be overwhelmed by psychological or organizational factors that we may not even be aware of. These factors adversely affect ethical decision-making as well as economic decision-making, meaning that people are boundedly ethical as well as boundedly rational.
I grew up Catholic, and I since have not really felt that connected to the Catholic organization, like the church. I still feel obligated to go to please family members.
Come on, man.
The basic notion, as spelled out by Professor Ann Tenbrunzel and her colleagues, is that systematic and predictable organizational pressures and psychological processes cause people to engage in ethically questionable behaviors that are inconsistent with their own preferences. Various factors cause us to make unethical decisions that we later regret.
If you've ever been around high school mean girls, you know that there are certain times that you will have your own ethics and morals kind of pushed a little bit for the sake of joining a group.
For example, although most of us want to act ethically, we also wish to please authority figures. Therefore, if our boss asks us to do something unethical, we may do it without even realizing our mistake, because we're focusing on pleasing the boss rather than on the ethical dimensions of the issue facing us. To take another example, we also have a natural desire to be part of the team at work. Therefore, if a questionable action advances the team's interests as we perceive them, we may act unethically because, again, we're focusing on achieving the team's goals rather than on adhering to our own ethical standards.
Our coach will be like, if you really need to, try to trip her, try to kind of hurt her more than she needs to be. In the heat of the moment, our team's like, yeah, we're aggressive, we got this. But then later on, if you really think about it, there's no need to be more aggressive in a soccer game.
Hey, you, stop!
Most of us want to act ethically and are certain that we will because we just know we're good people. But most of us are also overconfident regarding our own ethicality. This can lead to complacency that causes us to make decisions containing ethical dimensions without reflecting deeply. So we're ethical, it's true, but boundedly so. I recommend a little humility.
Come on!
Only if we truly commit ourselves to being ethical people and diligently guard against the organizational pressures and psychological factors that put bounds upon our ability to be so, can we possibly realize our ethical potential.
I think humans are very irrational people.
I think situational factors do influence the decisions you make, whether it's ethical or not.
To overcome them, you have to actually see that you're doing something wrong. You can't overcome something if you don't think you're not doing anything wrong.
We construct taboos and societal sort of norms, and then we push back against those.
I think if we just think about, what is really important, like family, friends, and then just do the best that you can without doing anything unethical, like hurting someone in a soccer game or cheating on a test just so that you can do well, then that's gonna lead you, to be more happy than you were if you did do something unethical.